everybody, and welcome back to Drawing with Paolo. Today I've decided that I'm going to teach you how to draw a jack-o'-lantern. And a jack-o'-lantern essentially is made up of a circle. So let's draw a circle here. So circles and triangles are what make up a pumpkin. And for Halloween. Halloween's not too far. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw this pumpkin seen from the top. So from this angle here. Now what I'm going to do is just start by drawing the stalk of the pumpkin. And that little hook at the top, So what we're going to do is draw this like a little bit of an S curve over here at the top, like that. And seeing so we can see from the top, we're going to do this little V shape here. It sort of looks like a triangle. And round out the edge just like that. So it sort of looks like a hook. And that's the stalk of the pumpkin. And I'm going to erase things today a lot. So these parts I've actually fast forwarded them so that we have a lot more time of drawing and a lot less erasing time. So the next step here is to add the pumpkin curves, the pumpkin lines in there. And I'm going to curve this pumpkin out a little bit more. As it sort of curves out like an apple at the top. Just like that. I'm going to erase the lines back here. There you go. And then that's the basic shape of the pumpkin. It's really that simple. The next step, what you want to do is add all those lines around the pumpkin and make the pumpkin lines. Make it really look like a pumpkin. And each one of those lines, you don't want to make them straight. You want to curve them. And the farther you go out, the more curved they are. So we'll start with the basic middle line. It's a little bit curved, but we're going to curve out the other ones more and more. So let's curve this one out a little bit more like that. We don't want it straight. We want it a little bit curved here. I'm going to curve the other one out even more. And as we go out, the farther we go, the more we're going to follow the exterior line, just like here. See? We're going to repeat it in the same fashion on the other way, but curving it to the other side. That one line is nice and curved. This one, curve that one out too. And the last one is pretty close to repeating the curve of the outside line. Just like this. And this are pretty much the same. Alright, so the middle line is right there. And it's to give it shape, essentially, is what we're trying to do. So the next part is you want to curve out also the thickness of the pumpkin. So every one of those lines that we made, we're going to add a little curvature to the bottom. Just like that, which actually fleshes out the pumpkin, gives it a bit more 3D to it. Just like that. Finish up this one off here. And then I want to do the same thing at the top, is round the top out and give it a bit more 3D look to it by rounding out my lines. There we go. So that's the basic elements of the pumpkin. The next thing I'm going to erase the lines I don't like. Fast forward. There you go. Done. Then I want to add details here to the stalk. And that looks like the, sort of like the knots in a tree. And so what you want to do is make these wood grain lines sort of in there. And you can do them any which way you like. It's really just basic lines, crisscrossing. And you can make nice little curves and things. And when you're satisfied with certain lines, make them darker. You can add a bit more detail. You want to make it as knotted as you like and as detailed as you like. Make it as old looking as you want. I'm going to add more darker lines here at the bottom. I like these lines here, so I'm going to make them darker. There you go. Contour lines. I'm not going to erase these anymore. I like them a lot, so I'm going to make them darker. Put a little bit of 3D perspective back there. And then make it as though we rip that part off like that. Rip it. That's why it's all jaggedy. I'm going to finish the outline curves here and making sure that I have some overlapping lines. Gives a little bit more of a 3D look. Alright. So by the way, while I'm fleshing some of this stuff out, you can pause this video at any point in time, in any one of my videos, so that you can follow along at your pace. So don't be shy to pause at any time. You don't have to draw as quickly as I do. This is the beauty of video. Alright, I'm going to finish out these. What's really cool about these lines is that it makes it pop out of the page, makes it 3D looking. And that's the point of making these curves here. So you don't want them super straight, you want them to follow the pumpkin lines like that. A little bit of 3D. Looks pretty good already, like that. Looks like a full pumpkin, nice and round. The next part is we're going to cut out the triangular shapes to our pumpkin. Just like any other pumpkin, we'll have to cut them out by drawing triangles. So essentially we're going to just choose where we want to put them. I'm going to put mine right here. I'm going to have a triangular eye. If you'd like, you can cut them out in circles. I'm going to pull down a straight line here at the bottom. You can make circles, you can make squares, whichever way you like. You draw them. I'm going to add another one right here. You draw them like you want. I got 2 triangles, and I think I'm going to make a nose, probably like another triangle as well. You can do it up or down. Do it down like this. Up. There you go. And then I'm going to draw a nice curved mouth like this. And you can choose any which way you want to make your own pumpkin the way you like. I like the curve. So I'm going to add a curved line at the bottom, just like that. And a nice smile, and it can be either this way or that way. You know, I'm going to erase this stuff out real fast here. There you go, nice and clean. The next step is, see the bottom of the pumpkin is curved, so I'm going to curve the bottom of the eyes too. Bottom of the eyes must look like the bottom of the pumpkin, so we want to keep that 3D look to it. Erase this out. And the next step is I want to add the thickness to the cut that we've made, so you know we can see deep inside there. So there should be a thickness, just like when we made that triangle in the first video I made. We've got the thickness there that we cut out, and I'm going to shade this side in, so this shape that's coming out, that's repeated within the triangles we've just made to give it a thickness. We're doing that 3D thing again, so we want to give it that thickness there. Give it a little thickness line like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Later on I can shadow it. So here I'm going to draw another line, thicken that up. Oh, just hit my camera. There you go, draw that thickness. I'm going to do the same thing to the nose. Add a little bit of a thickness there. So it's a triangle within a triangle, really. It's coming along pretty good. And then to the mouth, I don't want a thickness to it right away. I want to actually add jagged lines. I want to add teeth. It is a jack-o'-lantern, so we can make it a little bit scarier. I'm going to speed the process up a little bit here for you, and erase everything. Just like that, so you get a better idea of what I'm doing. Now don't forget, you can pause this at any time. And now the next lines are the thickness lines inside there. And everywhere there's a triangle, there's a line that goes from it to the back, just like that. Next step is shading. So we're going to shade in this cutout part. The inside here is the brightest part, so we want to make this part dark. Well, not too dark, but it's darker in there. Add the cut line there. Draw it, flesh out these lines a little bit more, make them darker. There you go. And then I'm going to speed the rest up here a little bit, because it's all the same process. So it's darkening up the lines and adding some shading. So the shading over here is pretty much full, because you can't really see the inside of that mouth there. Next, I've decided that my light will be coming from the top here. And so I'm going to shadow the stalk on the left side over here. Make sure that the whole left side of the stalk is cross-hatched, making it really nice and dark. I'll speed things up a little bit for you. Make it darker a little bit more on the left side. Slight hit there. And also the underside here, this part has to be darker because the light's not getting there either. So I shadow this in, or shade this in rather. And then darken up my lines. There you go. I need to do this side too with the pumpkin. So as I go crosshatch, I have to keep curving my lines as I'm following the contour lines of the pumpkin. Notice how the shadow's curved? So I want to keep doing that. Keep curving, follow the pumpkin line outline like that. It's rounded. I'll do that quickly for you. Keep adding darker lines. Because the shadow is coming from this side, well, you want to make a drop shadow here that the stalk is making. So the stalk is blocking light and therefore is making a shadow on this side of the pumpkin. So I'm going to sort of repeat the shadow in a mirror-like fashion on this side and darken that in. A little bit more here on this side, the bottom. And then what I want to do is, for each one of these lines, darken those lines out too, because they're making a little bit of a shadow as well. I'm going to darken out the pumpkin lines at the same time. Darken each one of these lines so they're making a thickness to my pumpkin. Makes it a lot more realistic. And also, because it's on the table, I want to make a drop shadow here too. So I'm going to make a little circle here and fill that circle in so it looks like the jack-o'-lantern is sitting on a table. I'm going to darken that in, shade it really quickly. And that's how you make a jack-o'-lantern. It's really that simple. With circles and triangles, you can make a nice cut-out pumpkin for Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone!